Welcome back to Well, That's Interesting. The if you're going to eat it, at least know where it came from edition.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay.
Is it? I am just the worst at this. I honestly have no idea where any of my food comes from. I mean,
You're not alone. Don't worry.
I can trace it back to either the grocery store or the guy who brought it from Fresh Direct in a nice little bag. That's the fanciest thing I've ever said, but I really have no idea where anything comes from.
Okay. We're going to solve one mystery today.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
You seem worried.
I'm so worried. I kind of love living in ignorance with food. I just assume it's all going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of is sometimes. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Today, episode 066, your Thanksgiving turkey was tamed in Mexico 1,500 years ago. What?
Is my turkey 1,500 years old?
It goes back really far, and it has a hell of a history.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think you need to tell me everything over the course of like a 30-minute to 40-minute
I can do that.
podcast episode. I think you need to do that right now.
I'm Jill Chacha, and I am with the just terribly curious about turkeys, Marissa Riley.
That's me. I'm pumped. I have to know everything.
And if this is your first time listening, welcome to the flock.
Welcome.
Dr. Riley here comes in cold and learns everything in real time, just like you.
It's true, except for this week.
I got a little drunk.
Okay. Jill got a little drunk last night and casually, just while I was like putting on my night moisturizers and stuff, casually just said, I can't wait to talk about turkeys tomorrow on the episode. And I just like did a slow turn with a wide eye. And I was like, Jill, you're not supposed to tell me. And then she kind of kept going on. And I was like, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah. So I didn't tell you everything.
She didn't tell me everything.
There's a lot of gold, a lot of nuggets.
There's a lot of
in this.
Yes. Okay. I was about to say yes. There's a lot of gold, but you only told me a little gold. So
Jesus,
I'm pumped.
Barely remember.
You're totally fine.
Well, I guess we should begin.
We should.
All right. So, unfortunately, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day here in the United States. It's a national holiday that for a lengthy period of time, I used to think was a day where Americans do what Americans usually do when it comes to holidays, which is collectively ignore the actual historical events that took place in exchange for a few hours of vacation from a job causing back pain.
That is the most American sentence I've ever heard. That is well done. Well done.
Shit,
nailed it.
Thank you. But in my elder millennial years, I realized the holiday is spent exactly as it should. Or at least millions of Americans end up this way, eating with people you don't like.
Wow. Never mind. You nailed it now. Oh my God.
Because that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Now, this episode is not an extensive recap of our fabled Thanksgiving Day, but I am going to provide a little context and summary because that's always good to hear.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so English colonists, known as Pilgrims, landed on what's now called Plymouth on November 16th, 1620.
Yep.
They saw a new paradise that looked uninhabited by humans, but that wasn't the case.
Nope. Definitely not.
Yeah. Throughout what's now southeastern Massachusetts, parts of modern Rhode Island, Nantucket Island, and Martha's Vineyard, lived the Wampanoag, who were around for at least 12,000 years.
Oh my God. I just imagine I'm trying to imagine the Wampanoag. Uh-huh. Am I correct? Okay, so imagine they had a house, a nice house.
Yeah, they did.
And then imagine a bunch of douchebags just came into the front door and started living on their couches and drinking, you know, their beverages.
Taking
and then,
all the food from Fresh Direct.
And
exactly.
Then murdering them. And just that's what I mean, that's a modern version, but that's basically kind of a light way to explain it. I'm not a historian. I'm a doctor, remember.
Yeah, I mean, their name translates to people of the first light. So
That's fucking gorgeous.
It's gorgeous,
God damn
and they
it.
were literally there since the crack of fucking dawn. So I thought this little fact was pretty amazing, and this other fact is actually really amazing as well. It just describes their many abilities. It's from the azcentral.com article, After 400 Years, Native People Reflect on the First Thanksgiving. So, Dr. Marissa, if you do the honors, and please read for us this fact.
Absolutely. All right. Quote, the Wampanoags' highly developed social structure and healthy diets had long served them well. Mashpee Wampanoag Councilman Brian Whedon said it was not uncommon for Wampanoags to live to age 90 or 100, amazing the colonist who had left a country where the average life expectancy was 40, with a few living past age 59. And, quote, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I am even more, embarrassed. Wow.
Yeah.
We suck.
Yeah. Now, Europeans have been dicking around North, South, and Latin America since the 1400s, so the Wampanoag indigenous were well aware of what diseases they brought over and kept a distance.
Yep.
Devastation is an understatement to describe what those viruses did and can do. And since racism is gonna racism, the Pilgrims were like, their deaths are clearly a sign from God that we are the chosen people for this land.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, fast forward a year later to 1621, when literally half the Pilgrim population had died from starvation, and their leaders asked for help.
Oh, God.
Samoset, a local tribal leader, brought a Wampanoag man named Tisquantum, also known as Squanto, to the Pilgrims' development to help with communication.
Yeah.
Turns out Squanto spoke English really well. And Dr. Marissa, would you please tell us how he happened to learn this language and what he taught the English folk?
Absolutely. Just a heads up, I have heard the fabled kids version of this where Squanto helped them.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see what actually happened.
Yeah. He did help. I mean, there was help.
There was help.
There was help.
According to my, I think it was fourth grade Thanksgiving Day program that we put on
the TV?
No, that we performed
for
our parents, where little white kids would dress up as indigenous people.
It's okay. It was a long time ago.
Just thinking back, there are photos of us. It's really awful, but it was kind of an untrue version of what happened. So I'm just reflecting on that quickly and anyways, let me read this quote of what actually happened. All right, from azcentral.com article. Quote, Squanto was in England when the smallpox plague swept through the Northeast in 1616. He had been kidnapped by another English explorer with other Wampanoag men and taken to Great Britain to be sold into slavery. Yep. He managed to get back only to find his village was gone, wiped out by disease. He resided for a time in the community led by Massasoit, who sent the young Wampanoag man to serve as an ambassador and translator to the Pilgrims. Squanto attempted to teach the colonists the best way to grow the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash, by planting a fish head as fertilizer, then planting the corn with bean and squash seeds in a mound around the corn. The corn provided a climbing pole for the beans, while the squash meanders along the ground, keeping the weeds at bay. End quote. Okay, so in my program, we did bury a fish.
Okay, cool.
In the program. That was really cool. But they did leave out the fact that Squanto learned his English by becoming a slave.
They missed that part.
They really left that part out. So...
he helped the people that enslaved him.
I'm just I just can't believe this. This is just... Wow.
Mashpee Wampanoag Councilman Brian Whedon, who we brought up before, noted the first gathering, or Thanksgiving, wasn't intentional. In fact, it could have been an accidental bloodbath.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Quote, when the English got their first harvest, they were shooting off their muskets, celebrating their first harvest and that they made it through the winter, Wheaton said. Massasoit, hearing the gunshots, rushed to Plymouth with 90 warriors ready to do battle with the invaders. Once they got there and found out what was going on, that's when they partook in the celebration.
Oh, okay.
He continued. Massasoit sent out his men for deer and other food items to sustain the 3-day celebration.
Got
End
it.
quote.
Got it.
Yeah.
So like pieces of, I'm sorry, I keep reflecting back on
Your trauma.
my trauma, my 4th grade Thanksgiving Day program that I performed for my parents.
Your eyes are so wide and just like so just. Oh,
this was my point of reference for what Thanksgiving was for so long. And yes, in our program, we did bring in a construction paper, butcher paper, deer. I remember that part. But once again, we did leave out the part where the pilgrims were shooting their guns for no reason. That's very American.
In a tense situation. Yes.
Yes. Stressing out all of these Wampanoags.
Yep.
Making them come check and bring all of their,
Ready for
best
war.
fighters.
Yes.
Probably at a terrible time of day. When they're busy living into their hundreds, they're living their best lives.
Yeah, war is always inconvenient. So.
Yeah. Anyways.
So brewing tensions, brewing tensions were calmed the only way tensions can be calmed, which is with barbecue and sides.
Okay.
So that was a super, super condensed version, which might be new mind-blowing information for some of you beautiful listeners out there. And our goal here is to continue that mind-blowiness with some random awesome facts and newly discovered history about a bird we think about only once a year. Turkey.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Tell me everything.
First, and this really shocked me because I'm so skeptical about holidays, turkey, or wild turkey, was actually eaten at that get-together.
Oh.
I know.
Well, there you go.
According to SmithsonianMag.com, there's 2 surviving written accounts of the probably awkward shindig.
Probably.
Edward Winslow, an Englishman, wrote a letter to a friend noting what was for dinner, and William Bradford, the governor of Plymouth, noted, quote, and besides waterfowl, there was great store of wild turkeys, end quote.
I mean, it's not a party unless you have waterfowl and a great store of wild turkeys.
That's right.
I mean, that's what do I say every Friday night?
That's what those things.
Those things.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what she says. So these wild turkeys, my friends, they can, get this, fly up to 55 miles per hour in short bursts.
That's fast.
That is very fast.
That's car fast.
Yeah. Dr. Marissa, please tell us some other stuff about these birds we occasionally like to stuff.
Absolutely. All right. From worldanimalprotection.us, quote, wild turkeys sleep in trees. That's so cute. Turkeys spend most of their time on the ground, but when it's time to sleep, they fly up into trees. This is because turkeys can't see well at night and protect themselves from predators. And to protect themselves from predators, they roost at dusk and fly at dawn. Also, they can change colors.
Okay.
You can tell a turkey's emotions by the color of their heads. Holy shit. Colors can change from red to blue to white, depending on how excited or calm they are. The more intense the colors, the more intense their emotions. End quote. They're mood rings.
Yes, exactly.
Their heads are mood rings.
Amazing. I know.
I'm obsessed with that. Why are we eating these things? We should be worshiping them. That's amazing.
Not only is their head revealing, but their poop also identifies if they are male or female.
What?
I know. A male's poop is shaped like the letter J, while a female's is spiral shaped.
That's the most random thing I've ever heard. I don't even know what to do with that information, but
You keep that in your
but
back
I
pocket.
like it. There's going to be a moment in my life
Yes.
where I'm going to need that information.
Yes. I guarantee it.
Yes, like when I'm stuck in the wilderness someday because of a plane crash, I'm going to be like, oh, You
or
guys,
a pandemic. Yeah,
a male turkey has been here.
that's right.
And that's all I'm going to be able to say. Yeah.
So, and finally, if you ever wanted to know what that dangly, fleshy thing that cascades over their beak is called, brace yourself. It's called a snood.
Funny enough, I did actually.
You know that?
Isn't
Really?
that crazy?
What?
Isn't that crazy?
And you never told me that?
So, do you know what a
I'm
fashion
shocked.
snood is?
No.
A fashion snood is like a scarf that just fits perfectly around your neck.
Yeah.
Like a little neck glove.
Yeah.
And it's not long. It doesn't have an opening. You just kind of slip it over.
Gotcha.
And I know that because it's the same as it goes kind of where a turkey's thing is.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Well, it also gets better because that snood, it's for mating.
Why? I didn't know this part. What?
Yeah, turkeys send snoods, essentially. So,
oh, I think we have to end the podcast.
according to the Journal of Avian Biology, females prefer males with longer snoods.
Lol.
And snood length can also be used to predict the winner of a competition between two males. So,
I mean, I could make like 50,000 jokes right now.
It's too many.
But I'll leave it to our listeners. If you want to make a snood joke,
tweet us.
Tweet us.
Tweet us. Yeah.
Slide into our DMs with those snoods.
Show us your snoods. If you have a turkey, send snoods.
Oh my God, if you do, we can screenshot them and share them.
I'm totally going to share it.
We will share your snoods. All right, okay. I think we've gone there.
So, not if, but when your crazy anti-vax uncle starts talking, may I recommend a rebuttal with snoods and turkey fucking to make them uncomfortable.
Amazing.
But honestly, anything you've learned on this show can do that. So,
pretty much.
After the break, we're heading to Mexico.
At last.
Finally, God damn it. Stay tuned.
Please do.
When Johann Rall received the letter on Christmas Day 1776, he put it away to read later. Maybe he thought it was a season's greeting and wanted to save it for the fireside. But what it actually was a warning, delivered to the Hessian colonel, letting him know that General George Washington was crossing the Delaware and would soon attack his forces. The next day, when Rall lost the Battle of Trenton and died from 2 colonial Boxing Day musket balls, the letter was found, unopened in his vest pocket. As someone with 15,000 unread emails in his inbox, I feel like there's a lesson there. Oh well, this is The Constant, a history of getting things wrong. I'm Mark Chrysler. Every episode, we look at the bad ideas, mistakes, and accidents that misshaped our world. Find us at constantpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello everyone, Stakuyi here.
And I'm Gabby.
And we are the hosts of History of Everything, a podcast which you can probably guess by the name is, well, I mean, it's about everything. Do you want to know why people thought potatoes were evil and would give you syphilis? Are you curious about all the stories of the terrible and stupid ways that people have kicked the bucket over the years? Do you want to hear tales about all of the different badasses of history and the lives that they had brought to life? Well, if so, then look no further. History of Everything is just the right podcast for you. It's available on Spotify, Pandora, and anywhere else that you get your podcast from. Join us for some fun and just see how weird and wacky history can be.
Hey everyone, Jill Chacha here from Well, That's Interesting, and I am absolutely thrilled to tell you about Spotify for podcasters. I use it, I love it, and it all started by downloading the free Spotify for Podcasters app, which has all the tools you need in one place to record and edit your masterpiece of a podcast. Spotify for Podcasters also distributes your show to all major platforms. So when you hit publish, your episodes will stream not only on Spotify, but I'm talking about the Apples, the Googles, Stitcher, Good Pods, the other ones. You get the idea. And you can monetize your podcast with no minimum listenership required. You could also set up monthly subscriptions and record ads just like this one. So what are you waiting for? Download Spotify for Podcasters today and start changing the world. Oh, and please, stay interesting. And we're back.
We are so back.
We're so back, and we're in one of the most delicious places on earth, Oaxaca, Mexico.
Ooh la la.
That's right.
Take me there.
Now, Mexico in general is known for its food, but the region of Oaxaca is something extra special. Yeah. She just moaned.
I've just heard this name in reference to like different kinds of food or like mezcal or like tequila. It's like basically all my favorite things.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I got goosebumps.
Yeah. This tiny place, just around 33 square miles, that's it, is pretty much the mole capital of the world.
That's what I was going to say. I wasn't sure. I was like, I had heard of mole coming from here, but I was like, am I going to get the city wrong? I was right.
Great job.
Nailed it in my head.
Sorry. Wow, my notes. Okay, so yeah, mole, of course, being a thick, complex sauce that's just a goddamn miracle.
So good.
You can really put it on anything, and it makes that anything 1,000 times more incredible.
It's true.
So who knows? Maybe once upon a time, it was even used on what we're about to talk about.
Oh,
That's right. Let's begin. My friends, please imagine a map of Mexico.
Okay.
Point to the most southern area where it kind of curves to the right a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. Now back up just a smidge, and now you're in the region of Oaxaca.
Voila.
In the middle of Oaxaca is a teeny town called Mitla, and to the right of that, several kilometers away, is the archaeological gold mine that is called the Mitla Fortress, and it goes way back. Way back.
Oh my God. Tell me everything about this fortress.
Yeah.
I love that word.
Now, according to expeditions.fieldmuseum.org, the, quote, the Mitla Fortress itself is perched on a steep, rocky hill that rises starkly from the floor of the eastern branch of the Valley of Oaxaca. Pottery shards found on the surface of most of its more than 400 recorded terraces tell of the site's longevity and date. I'm sorry.
We got this. Longevity, I'm like looking at your notes, is like the most mind-boggling word. I don't know why.
Brain just imploded, and we all heard it. So that's great.
It imploded like these pottery shards. Does that even make sense?
Sure. So
tell us about it.
All right, I'm going to start that quote all over again. Okay. The Mitla Fortress itself is perched on a steep, rocky hill that rises starkly from the floor of the eastern branch of the Valley of Oaxaca. Pottery shards found on the surface of most of its more than 400 recorded terraces tell of the site's longevity and date from the height of the Zapotec through the arrival of the Spanish at the end of the post-classic period, a range between 200 and 1520 AD. Jesus.
Nailed it.
End quote.
Nailed it. So this area's got a lot of history.
This
area's got some old stuff.
That's right. In some, the indigenous Zapotec peoples thrived in the area for like 2,500 years, building and inventing beautiful fucking things. Dr. Marissa, in a moment, I'm about to show you one of the fortress's architecture. Some of the architecture. But first, I want to quickly point out some other accomplishments of the Zapotec made way before, like, the Spanish arrived. So.
I mean, after hearing that the Wampanoags are living to 100, I'm like, tell me everything. Tell me everything that we're getting wrong. I need to hear it.
They, too, had a yearly calendar, and get this, their writing system is thought to be one of the first writing systems of the Mesoamerica area, predating those of, like, the Maya and the Aztec.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's awesome.
That is incredible. So let that settle in while we gaze upon the fortress from a distance. Now, Dr. Marissa, it's a little hard to see as it blends in with the hill, and I think that may be on purpose as like a defense.
Ooh.
But please, what do you see here? And just to help you out, this part up here is the fortress.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
All right. So just imagine kind of like a hill mountain. What? My mind is blown. And then imagine like the kind of the top part of the hill is okay, so imagine you have a hill, okay? And then imagine that you built a fortress that just looks like an extension of the hill.
Yeah.
And it basically looks like the hill has like an extension of rocks. And then when you look at that hill as a person, thousands of years later, you're like, it's just a hill.
Yeah,
Jill.
it looks like
it doesn't look like any fortress I've ever seen.
Why go over there? Yeah.
Why would I walk over there?
Right.
So that's the best I can do at describing this.
It's perfect. It's exactly what it looks like. Please head on over to our social media stuffs to look at this incredible photo and all the photos that we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Let's zoom in a bit and take a look at one of the homes. This is the side of one wall.
Yeah.
So please tell us what designs you see and just describe the precision or whatever. So
I will.
Okay.
I'll do a bad job. Oh, well, this is quite different than the other picture. Okay.
Yeah. When you get up close, it's incredible.
So when you get up close, like Jill said, it is incredible. It's just really cool. It's got like a little kind of a garden full of cactuses, succulents, types of things. But the actual structure is very, what I would describe as modern almost. It's a lot of angles. It's like a big kind of rectangular building. And then it's got these really cool, I want to call them Art Deco designs.
Yeah.
But clearly this is way before that. But it's got these cool, zigzaggy designs along the sides. It's very beautifully made. It's made of stone.
Yeah.
It's freaking gorgeous. I want to go.
Yeah.
If this was a spa, I'd go.
Totally go. I mean, you could even see that it's kind of elevated off the floor, too. There's these homes are on a base.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous and just
Smart.
forward-thinking, very smart.
Very-
it's just so incredible.
Very before, ahead of the times.
Just incredible stuff, incredible work. Now, my friends, it was within these homes, Heather A. Lapman, an archaeologist at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and Gary Feynman, an archaeologist from the Field Museum in Chicago. They found 400 bones,
Oh my God.
eggshells, and a bunch of whole eggs either scattered about or deliberately arranged. A DNA test was performed, and wouldn't you know it, that test came back 100% that bitch turkey.
Yeah.
That's right.
Love some turkey.
The surprises don't end there. First, the remains date back about 1,500 years.
Oh my God.
And second, the findings, whose details we'll get into, it's the earliest proof of turkey domestication.
Really?
Yeah.
They're so cool.
Dr. Marissa, please tell us, according to the New York Times, why did the Zapotec use this bird?
I would love to tell you. Quote, the Zapotecs were known to offer blood sacrifices, sometimes during important events such as burials, marriages, and births, for healing and agricultural rituals. Before constructing a new home, they would sometimes sacrifice a turkey hatchling, eat it, and then bury its remains beneath the floors or within the walls. End quote.
There you go.
A turkey hatchling.
Little baby turkey.
Oh, and then they would eat it.
There you go.
Very.
It's true. For example, underneath the foundation of one home, 5 whole eggs and about 7 turkey chick skeletons were uncovered. In other homes, however, juvenile bones were clumped together in piles, suggesting they were probably once a delicious Oaxacan meal and then discarded. In other spots, actually making up about a quarter of the bones found, were tools and jewelry made of stronger turkey bones.
Amazing.
And the most important find linking this all together was the medullary bone, which only forms in female birds before and during the egg-laying cycle. Oh. This discovery probably means those eggs weren't stolen from wild nests, nor were the chicks, and those older birds probably weren't hunted. All signs point to this super important bird being bred and raised within the fortress.
I love this. This is so interesting. Oh my God.
And it could also mean the turkeys millions of Americans are carving into tomorrow are most likely descendants of this flock from a little town in Mexico.
Oh my God.
know.
I love it.
I know. So, not if, but when your racist uncle starts talking about American traditions, you can tell him you can thank Mexico.
There you go. There you go. I am obsessed with that. I'm obsessed that they bred turkeys and use them so beautifully.
I know.
I'm like, my mouth is, I don't have anything like funny to contribute. I just really like it, and I think it's beautiful.
It is really beautiful.
God, they added it to these beautiful homes. Seriously, get on Instagram and look at these homes.
Yeah.
They're
Gorgeous.
so gorgeous. You're going to be like, I want to move there. That's so cool. So,
But don't move anywhere. Everyone's just don't move.
don't move.
Don't go into anyone's homes.
Stop. Stop taking everyone's stuff. Sucks.
So thank you for listening, subscribing, rating, telling your friends where turkeys were domesticated.
Thank you so much.
Talk about their poop. Talk about their snoods.
Send us snoods. Yes. Jesus.
And please, stay interesting.
Please do.